Welcome back to the Divine Creature Circle. I'm so excited to be here. I'm just finding the chat. And while people are joining, please let me know where you're joining from. Today, as you can see by the title, we're going deep into the reason why you might be experiencing and repeating the same patterns in relationship. So, with that being said, with that being said, I was having a roll up here for the audio. We will be talking about the main reason why you are experiencing the same patterns even though you're doing everything right. And so lately with the expensive growth I've experienced on Instagram, so many beautiful souls have joined this community, which I'm so grateful for. And for those joining, please let me know where you're joining from in the chat. And so through these beautiful souls joining my community, I've had the opportunity to talk with many of you guys. And what most of the women I've talked to are struggling with is doing everything right and not seeing the results they want in relationships. And even though they are visualizing the dream relationship, repeating self-love affirmations, reading the books, um, listening to the podcast, when they are dating, they get attracted or keep attracting emotionally unavailable men, no matter how hard they're working not to. And so today I wanted to dive deep into that because I was there myself and it felt so frustrating to do everything I could to manifest the love I wanted and not get the results I wanted. And so let's dive into this because after this live, you'll get so much clarity on how to overcome this and actually understand what is happening at a deeper level. So, if you're here, you'll get to know me. And if you know me, then you know this. But if you're looking for a magic pill or miracle solution, a quick fix, I'm not your girl because I don't believe in quick fixes. I don't believe in magic pills. And even though manifestation, self growth, healing can be magic, can produce magic and miracles in your life, it's not because you are doing those things that it's going to happen instantly and out of the blue. Manifestation, in my opinion, is really intentional. And that's why, if you're here, I want to go deep and truly go into the depth of what you need to know in order to create a lasting and effective change in your relationships and your life. Because there's nothing more frustrating than doing everything right and not getting the results you want. So, if we go deep into the why, not a lot of people talk about this, but 95% of your reality is directed by your unconscious mind. And what I mean by that is that how you act, how you feel, and how you think in your day to day from a moment to moment expression often comes from unconscious imprints that you learn to believe, that you were conditioned to believe, and that come from early on in your life. And so most of the time we are led by beliefs, ideas, narratives that not only are not serving us, but most of the time are not even ours and things we don't even want. But without that clarity and that understanding, that's when we do everything right and we get the same results we've gotten again and again. So, first thing we must understand is that everything you're doing is directed by your unconscious mind. And the fastest way to know if your unconscious blueprints, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your life in general, whether it's in your work, your career, whatever the aspect of your life, the fastest way to know if the blueprints you carry in that aspect of your life is serving you and actually moving you in the direction of what you want is to actually become aware and honest with the results you're getting in your life. Give me a second, my dog wants to jump. Come on. He changed his mind. So, if you look at your reality right now, if you look at your relationship, are you getting the results you want? If you're experiencing disappointment, frustration, anger, sadness, confusion, conflict, all of those emotions, if you're experiencing resistance, most chances are that the unconscious imprints you carry around love, career, and so on are not in alignment with what you actually want. And I've said this so many times, but the only way to actually manifest what you want in your life is to actually align your unconscious programs with your conscious desires. As long as there's a gap between the two, you will continue to experience what your unconscious imprints carry emotionally, mentally, energetically, spiritually, and so on. Healing is not linear, healing is multidimensional, and you are multidimensional. So that's why I don't believe in quick fixes, and that's why it's so important to actually acknowledge that because if not, we keep doing all the superficial things in the hopes that things will change, and yet we're not truly accessing what is causing the results we're getting in our reality. So first thing first, if you are experiencing conflict, disappointment, sadness, resistance in your relationships, then it's time to get really honest with yourself and look at yourself and your reality through a lens of loving awareness and compassion to see where actually you're acting out of alignment with what you want. So, if you want healthy, loving, conscious relationships, and yet you continue to choose the partners and the people that actually make you feel so bad, so depleted, then maybe it's time to really take responsibility for the ways we get to that point and become curious about the beliefs, the narratives we're telling ourselves to convince ourselves to go there. Because if we're honest and if you really tune in to your heart desires, then you know that you don't want to settle. Then you know there's so much more to life, there's so much more to love, and you get to experience that. But in order to get there, we must take responsibility for the ways we stop ourselves and the ways we hold back to get there. So that's the first thing we must get clear on if you really want to call in and magnetize the type of partner that will value the same things and that will be a dream match for you in terms of communication, the way you see relationships, the way you interact with each other. And so this is the first thing. And I know it can be polarizing and unpopular to see manifestation this way because everywhere you look on the internet, there is information selling you quick fixes and magic pills. And again, I believe in magic. That's why the Divine Creatrix Circle exists. That's the very reason I created this weekly lives, is because I do believe that we have the power to literally create everything that we want, and it's so important to actually remember who we are. remember that we have the power to create literally anything that we want, as crazy as it seems. It's totally possible, and that's why I created this. But again, we must understand how reality works, how our unconscious mind works, in order to make magic a reality. Because if it's only based on superficial information that actually doesn't go to the depth of what's actually happening, then we're not truly accessing our true power. And so this is really, really important for you to remember. Healing is about taking responsibility, and no quick fix, no magic solution can help you get there if you're not truly honest with yourself and you're not fully accessing the depths of your power. And understanding your unconscious, in my opinion, is the fastest way to do that, because it is the force and the infinite intelligence that is leading you and guiding you in this plane. And now, the reason most people, most women, including myself, have done everything right: visualizations, meditations, journaling, repeating self-love affirmations, listening to all the podcasts, and not see any results, even though they are powerful tools for personal growth and healing, is because most of the time we approach healing as a quick fix solution. And so we think that only thinking positively or switching our mindset is going to do the job and is going to change your reality. And again, although that is totally possible and doable, we must understand that if you're carrying an imprint, an unconscious program that see loves as hard, as painful, as complicated, even though you are saying affirmations that are positive and loving and empowering, most chances are is that your unconscious mind is really rejecting that information because it conflicts with the very blueprint. And so we must understand this so deeply, because we are losing so much time and energy trying to think positively when there's something bigger going on in the background. And so if you're truly tired of doing all the right things and not seeing the results you want, then maybe it's time to start looking through your patterns in your life from a different lens and actually start acknowledging what's happening outside of how you think. And so how you feel is really important. How you react in certain situations is really important. And there are so many other layers than your mindset to consider in healing. Because again, healing is multidimensional. And what I've learned through my process is that no amount of positive thinking can release deep layers, energetic and emotional trauma that is sitting inside and within your body. And so truly living an aligned life and welcoming love into your life, magic into your life, is truly about being the container that can allow that. Because if we don't have the mental, energetic, emotional, physical, spiritual capacity to hold our desires into reality, then we're leaking all of that energy everywhere else, or we're just too overloaded and saturated already, and there's no space for that desire to come into life, because there's no energy to move that into life, if that makes sense. If that resonates with you, please let me know in the chat, comment yes if that is resonating, because we've all been there. We've all been there. So you're probably wondering, how can I overcome this if I'm really struggling here and I'm experiencing that again and again in my reality, and I'm truly, 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 truly ready to let that go so that I can attract the partner that I want and experience the love that I want. So, 1, radical honesty. Radical honesty. If you're not experiencing what you want, it's time to change something, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. So that's the first thing. Secondly, in this process, compassion is so, so important, because without compassion, you will continue to see yourself from the very patterns that are creating resistance in your reality. And so, how can you start bringing compassion into your life and making it your priority? No matter how many mistakes you've done, how many times you've hit yourself your hit your head on the wall again and again. No matter what your reality looks like right now, as far as close as it is to what you want to experience, how can you bring more compassion? How can you start seeing yourself, your life, your reality, your patterns with compassion and true loving awareness? This is important, because you might think that things will change in the future, but if you're always criticizing yourself, judging yourself, and acting from a place of fear and doubt and frustration, then you cannot really cultivate love, because fear and love are not the same energies. And if you want to truly welcome love into your life, then then love is not only the end, it's also the mean to the end. And cultivating love is going to be the very foundation that is going to lead you where you want to be in a conscious, healthy relationship. So let's make that clear. And third, if I'm really honest here, I don't believe we're supposed to do this work by ourselves. I do believe we have the ability to change ourselves in so many ways, and we have the potential to recreate ourselves again and again and again. But I feel like this idea that we have to be always overachieving, that we have to get it all together, that we have to figure it out everything by ourselves, is pushed by the very narrative that has made society what it is today, or what has caused the very pieces that are missing in our society. And so that can be the patriarchal way of seeing life, of, like, neglecting our emotions, seeing ourselves as machines that have to produce and overachieve everything all the time, and that has separated us from our need for belonging and community. In that sense, the reason I think that we were not meant to do this work alone is because your unconscious mind is so protective, and so if those programs are in place to protect you, you doing that by yourself, what happens is that your unconscious will continue to protect you, and so it's you versus the very programs are unconscious, and they are unconscious for you. So I'm not sure if you're getting this or you're starting to understand this deeper now, but the reason they're unconscious is because they are unconscious, and they are unconscious for a reason. So most of the time when you're trying to figure it out, your unconscious is just following its own rules, and so there's a gap where it can be tricky to access the very cause of why those patterns are happening, because there is a gap between the need of that pattern to be unconscious and your ability to get there. And again, we can all learn how to get there, but sometimes we need a safe container and someone who can hold space for us. And that's something that I had to learn the hard way, being super independent on my life and having built a really thick wall, masculine armor around myself, my heart, my vulnerability, and so on, because I learned to believe that emotions were too much or not helping me achieve an success at the things I wanted to do, experience success in the things I wanted to do. So that is a deep conditioning that I had to release and dissolve to actually understand the power of healing in community and the power of asking for help and the power of being supported. Because I see so many people running in that pattern of fear, trying to do it all by themselves when the very thing they need is being supported. And I hope that resonates because there's so many of us women that have learned to get it together, and figure it out by ourselves when we are not meant to function in that way. We're meant to be supported. We are meant to be in community, exchange and share because that is our essence. And through the reflections we get in the containers and the guidance we receive is where we experience support we're actually missing, and the very key that is missing within ourselves to feel safe and at ease within our own system and in our lives. So that's what I wanted to say today because I was tired of doing all the right things and running everywhere trying to figure it out and fix myself. And through that process of running, I was totally missing the point. And I know how it feels to devote yourself so deeply doing all those things and not seeing the results you want. So if you're experiencing that, you're not alone at all. And there's a way, an effective way to release the unconscious imprints that are holding you back and dissolve any block, whether it's emotional, energetic, mental, that is stopping you from attracting the love you want. It's totally possible, and it's totally possible for you to experience the relationship of your dreams. That I can tell you. It's solely possible. Because the moment you have the right resources, the right inner imprint, then you get everything you need to be supported to make that a reality. It's that simple. It's not always easy, but the process is actually simple. So, if you are eager and really craving that kind of support, there's many things that are available for you right now. I have my free resources. You can look in my the link in my bio on my store. I have different masterclass. I also have for those who are on YouTube, probably are already watching my videos, but if you are on Instagram or Facebook, you can also access many long form content where I talk about healing, soul alignment, manifestation, and so that can be a place to start. If you've already done that and you want to go even deeper, then I invite you to maybe check out Open Hearted and apply to see if that is a good fit for you. Open Hearted is a 3-month group coaching program where you will receive the step-by-step process on how to heal your relationship blueprint so that you can release all these unconscious imprints that are holding you back. And there, the community, the support, the intimacy is designed for you to receive everything that you need in order to actually call in the love that you want and actually experience healing from a multidimensional perspective, because that is true healing. And so if that is calling you and you're eager to step into this transformative journey to really go deeper and do the work that is going to give you tangible results, drop the link here in the chat if you want to apply. And then you can know if that is a good fit for you. And I will personally look over your application, and from there, you will receive a message to know if that is a good fit for you, and you get to join the many women that are in this community walking the same path and receive the results you're looking for. So I dropped the link in the chat. You can look over the application, and if you're watching the replay, whether it is on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, then you can look in the description box and you will find the link to apply. So, as usual, if you have any questions or you want to hear about a specific subject, the Divine Critic Circle happens every Monday at 11 a.m. EST, and this is the place to go deep on all things healing, personal growth, love, and so on. So you can drop them in the comments, and I'm gonna look over it to and talk about this in one of the future lives and where we get together. So thank you for being here. I'm so grateful for all of you that are joining this community, and I'm so excited to see what 2024 has in store for this community, for you, for me, because we get to literally create everything we want. Before I go, it's been a while that I've said this phrase, but I want to say it again because it's my motto. Every day is an opportunity to create magic, and I want you to remember that from today to the rest of your days. Every day is an opportunity to create magic, and you to create everything that you want. So have a magical day, and we will